to Let's Chat, the Tennessee Valley's premier show focusing on lifestyle and entertainment with Jess Raby and Chip Chapman, bringing you smart shopping tips, community events, and the newest trends. Now, let's chat.
As we head into the upcoming weekend, which of course is Father's Day, we wanted to spend some time and celebrate the big holiday coming up with the father of some of the finest music ever going back generations. It's the one and only Charlie Daniels. Charlie, good morning.
Hello, friend. How you doing today?
I'm doing very well, sir, and I hope you are as well.
I'm doing wonderful. I'm sitting here in beautiful Tennessee. You can't get no better than that, you know?
No, sir, it does not. Hey, obviously you've been affected by the quarantine like so many other entertainers. Tell us how you've been spending this downtime since COVID-19 erupted.
Well, I'm 83 years old, so I'm right in the supposedly vulnerable center of everything as far as, you know, getting that disease to be really bad for me. So we took it at its word. We came home. We played Huntsville, Alabama on the 14th of May. We're supposed to go to 14th of March, pardon me. We're supposed to go to St. Charles, Louisiana the next day, and we got through in Huntsville that night, and that was it. They started falling like dominoes, you know, started canceling out the public things. And we came home, and my wife and myself have been here in our house ever since then. We go out to, basically we don't get out of the car. Our son helps us out. He helps us with shopping and that sort of thing. He gets out and about in the world and wears one of them big masks, you know, and gloves and stuff. And he looks like something out of a comic book, but yeah, he comes and, you know, he helps us out with stuff, and we limited contact with anybody. We see somebody for a distance and don't really touch anybody. I told somebody when I get to heaven, I'm gonna hug the first 150 people I see because I'm a big hugger, and it's just breaking my heart not to be able to hug my son or any of my grandchildren, or any of my people.
It may be a little early to actually tell, but originally you were scheduled to be right here in Chattanooga coming up August the 8th, Saturday night, and I was so looking forward to that. Any idea if that's a possibility that'll still come to pass?
Chip, I just don't know. We're taking it week by week now with our agency. Some of the dates that have already gone by, we have been rescheduling for next year. And the ones that are still hanging, if the promoters are still hanging, we're still hanging. If the promoter says, let's go, we'll be there. I'll put it like that. So I really don't know. It's just a day-by-day thing. So we're waiting on your end, on the Chattanooga end of things to come through and let us know if we can come. If we can, we'll be there with bells on.
I certainly hope we'll be able to make that happen. So Father's Day coming up this weekend. How are you going to celebrate?
I'm going to do the same thing I did every other day since the 14th of March. I'm going to stay here at home. I probably, you know, I tell you what I really miss. I really miss the sports on television. I'm a big sports fan, and, you know, I didn't have anything going on. Of course, NASCAR still pops up on once in a while, but yeah, the baseball and everything, all the sports things that we usually have, you know, I really miss watching them. So I don't watch as much TV as I used to, but I finished a book I've been working on for a long time. During this time, I finally had day in and day out to sit down and work on it. I got it finished. I'll be working on some new music very shortly. So I ain't been bored in 40 years, Chip. I've always got something to do.
Tell us about the book.
Well, the book is my first foray into fiction. Well, I've done short story fiction, but I mean a fictional novel. It's about it's set back in my time. I was born in 1936, and my first remembrance is, of course, when I was 4 or 5 years old. It starts there and goes on up through, and of course, that's, like I said, it's totally fictional, but it's something that I know about, basically. It is set in the times that I first remember, and goes on up through the early 60s, something like that. And it's basically about a young boy that grew up in North Carolina and his friends and the things they got into, and growing up and finding out about learning life, you know, going through life, some good, some bad, some indifferent.
Now, this is your first foray into fiction. The book that you had out recently, Let's All Make the Day Count, The Everyday Wisdom of Charlie Daniels. I want to focus a little bit about that and what inspired you to write that one.
I do a piece on my I started saying my website. It's not my website. It's actually my Twitter site. Every day I do a thing called "Let's All Make the Day Count," and it's a saying. It's something like that I come up with that I feel like the good Lord sends me a lot of it. You know, I'll sit there and something will come to my mind. I'll put it down, but it'll be something like. Well, I didn't write this one, but this is one I use once in a while. If you can't get what you want, take what you get, make what you want out of it. Let's all make the day count.
Right.
You know, and I'll do a Bible verse. I do a short prayer. I put it on there. So it's kind of a thing I've been doing for years. I do it 365 days a year. And after I did my biography, Never Look at the Empty Seats, the publishing company wanted me to do what they called a gift book, which I was not familiar what a gift book was, but come to find out I owned a bunch of them because they're just short books with daily readings in them.
Right.
So I did. I did 100 of them. I didn't do 365, but that's what this basically is. It's inspiring. It draws on some of my things about me beating my head against the wall or something I did right, and it says I did this and it worked for me, or I did this and it did not work for me, and I try to find an appropriate Bible verse to put in there, and then some little catchy phrase that says it always ends up with "Let's all make the day count." And we got to make every day count, every day.
You're absolutely right. We certainly do. And I wake up, one of the first things I do every morning, once I get logged on, is I check out Charlie Daniels on Twitter. You're very active social media poster, and I'm happy to hear that because your messages always provide positive ways to begin the day, and they'll also make you think, which I think certainly in this day and time, we need to do a little bit more of. Father's Day again coming up this weekend. This is going to be a very, very tough weekend for our mutual friend Hank Williams Jr., who lost his daughter just last week in a car crash.
Oh, I just can't. I can't imagine. I can't imagine anything worse happening to somebody on this earth than losing a child. And he had a real close call several years ago with two of his other daughters, with Holly and Hillary, and it just. You know, to have this happen after they got through that, to have this happen is totally heartbreaking. It's just horrible. My condolences. My heart goes out to him and the family. It's awful.
Charlie, I know you're a busy man. I want to thank you so much for spending some time with us. You're going to be joining us again tomorrow, which I can't wait. We're going to talk a little bit more about your passion for and your efforts in helping the United States military veterans. So we look forward to having you join us here tomorrow, okay?
All right.
God bless you, my
Thank
friend.
you.
Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you.
How cool is it to start a day off with Charlie Daniels? You make sure and stick around. We'll be right back.